It was a quiet evening, the kind where the world feels tucked in early. Rain tapped softly against my apartment window, a rhythm both soothing and hypnotic. I had a cup of tea, still warm, resting beside my laptop. Outside, the city whispered, with its usual sighs, distant traffic, the hum of passing trains, the occasional bark or siren that came and went like ghosts in the night. I wasn't doing anything exciting, just scrolling through messages, checking tomorrow's calendar, watching time drift lazily into midnight. My phone, which had been lying face down for hours, suddenly lit up. The screen showed one name, me. It didn't say unknown or private. Number. It said my name, exactly how it's stored in my phone. I blinked. I thought maybe it was a glitch. But the call continued ringing, persistent, steady. No FaceTime, no spoofing apps. Just a plain voice call. From my own number. Curious, unsettled, and a little amused, I answered. I shouldn't have. There was a moment of silence on the other end. No static, no background noise. Then, I heard my voice. Clear, calm, unmistakable. Don't go to the corner store tomorrow, it said. I froze. Why not? I whispered. But it had already hung up. And that was just the beginning. My name is Adam Keller. I'm 31. I live alone in a quiet two-bedroom apartment in a neighborhood where not much happens. I work in IT, mostly remote unless the servers throw a tantrum and I have to go in. Life is uneventful, predictable even. I like it that way. I've never been one for superstition. I believe in routine. I wake up at 7:30, shower, make the same coffee every morning, toast with peanut butter, 2 tablets of vitamin D, emails, meetings, lunch at noon, bed by 11, safe, quiet, repeat. But ever since that call, routine hasn't felt safe. That night, after the call ended, I sat staring at my phone for nearly an hour. I tried calling back, straight to voicemail, my own outdated voicemail greeting, the one I thought I'd deleted 2 years ago. Hey, it's Adam. Leave a message. I checked my recent calls. The incoming number was mine. I checked my carrier app. The call was logged, as if I'd called myself. No forwarding, no spoofing, nothing out of place, just me. And that voice, it wasn't just familiar. It was me. Not someone impersonating, not even a recording. It responded to me, directly, in real time. I told myself maybe it was a prank. Some friend with too much time and a voice modulator, maybe even a sleep-deprived dream. I made tea again. I scrolled through Twitter. I distracted myself. Eventually, I went to sleep, but I didn't go to the corner store the next day. Around 9 a.m., while I was brushing my teeth, I heard the news. A live local broadcast. Gas leak explosion on 3rd and Bell. That's the exact corner where my store sits. Time of explosion? 8:53 a.m., 2 dead, 1 injured. My blood ran cold. I almost dropped my toothbrush. That's when I remembered I usually go to that store at 8:45 on Tuesdays. Same route, same order, small bag of ground coffee, pack of gum, back in time for the 9 a.m. team check-in. If I hadn't gotten that call, I shook the thought from my head. Coincidence. Nothing more, right? But I couldn't stop thinking about the voice, the exact inflection, the way it spoke. It didn't sound panicked or dramatic. It was calm, like it knew. And if it wasn't a prank, what was it? That evening, I called my service provider. No record of outgoing calls to myself. Nothing weird in the logs. They suggested maybe it was a third-party spoofing app. But I checked. Nothing installed, nothing running. And then came the second call. 3 nights later, while I was watching a documentary, my phone buzzed again. Caller ID, me, same number, same display. I stared at it. My hand hovered over the screen. It rang only twice before I answered. And again, it was my voice. You're going to get a package tomorrow morning. Do not open it. No greeting. No explanation. I felt the air go still. I licked my lips. Why? What's in it? But again, click, the line went dead. The next morning, around 10:15 a.m., the doorbell rang. A man in a blue cap handed me a plain, cardboard box. No return address, just my name on the label, printed in all caps. I hadn't ordered anything, no notifications, no tracking number. I stood with the box in my hands for a long time. Then I placed it on the dining table. I didn't open it. Not that day, not the day after either. Eventually, I locked it in the closet, still unopened. And that's when it hit me. Whatever was happening, it wasn't over. The days that followed were slow and oddly stretched, as if time itself was wary. I found myself checking the locked closet door often, listening for something. Movement, ticking, anything. But the box just sat there, silent, heavy with meaning. I didn't tell anyone about the calls. Not my coworkers, not my sister. I didn't want to sound unhinged, but I started sleeping with my phone turned off, tucked in a drawer. I was tired of waiting for the next call, tired of that voice, my voice, knowing things I hadn't done yet. Still, it didn't stop. The third call came 6 days after the box. This time, it rang only once. I didn't answer fast enough. No voicemail, just a missed call from myself. 3:17 a.m. The air in my apartment felt different that night. Heavier, like I was being watched. I walked through every room, every closet, checked under the bed, even though I knew it was pointless. It wasn't something in the apartment, it was something about the apartment, like the space itself had changed, and I began noticing details out of place. A photo frame on the shelf, tilted to the left when I always aligned it perfectly. My coffee, mug in the sink, even though I'd used a different one that morning. My desk chair, pulled slightly away, facing the window, as if someone had sat there, watching. I told myself I was sleepwalking or misremembering. But deep down, I knew I wasn't. I wasn't forgetting. Something, or someone, was predicting me. That Friday, I left the apartment for a walk. I needed air. I wandered around the neighborhood, ending up at a small cafe I hadn't visited in months. I sat near the back and ordered black coffee, trying to ground myself in something ordinary. That's when I saw it, a man at a table by the window. Late 30s, pale skin, glasses, same exact jacket I was wearing, same exact haircut, same face. He was me, but older, slightly more tired-looking, sharper around the eyes. He didn't look at me, not once. He sipped his coffee, tapped at his phone, then stood up and left. Calm, controlled. I followed, not out of courage, out of instinct. He turned a corner. I turned after him. Gone, just like that. No side streets, no cars, no doors. He'd vanished. I returned home in a daze. When I walked in, the box, the one I had locked away, was sitting on the coffee table, unopened. But there was a new note taped to the top. Typed. Simple. You should have opened it. The fourth call came that night. This time, I was ready. Phone turned on, volume up. Caller ID, me. I answered on the first ring. There was silence again. Then that voice. You're starting to remember, aren't you? Remember what? I whispered. A pause. What we did. Chills ran down my back. I haven't done anything, I said. But you will, it replied. My mouth went dry. Tell me what's in the box. A soft breath on the other end. Then, that's not how this works. You already opened it, Adam. You just don't remember yet. Click. Call ended. Sleep became harder after that. I'd lie awake for hours, heart racing, shadows dancing across my ceiling like waves. I stopped working, turned off all notifications. My life was now circling that box. One evening, I woke up suddenly, no sound, no movement, just a deep knowing that something had changed. And I wasn't in my bed. I was standing in the hallway, in the dark, barefoot, facing the closet, hand already on the doorknob. The box was whispering. I couldn't hear words, only a low hum, like something deep underwater. But it was calling. I opened the closet. The box sat there, just as I'd left it. But there were fingerprints on it now, greasy dark smudges. My fingerprints. My hands were clean. I locked the closet again, sat against the door until sunrise. Called my phone company again. They still found no irregularities. I changed my number, got a new SIM, even reset the phone to factory settings, but the fifth call still came. New number, new phone, still from me. You're running out of time, the voice said. This isn't a warning anymore, I shouted into the phone. What do you want from me? The voice replied, quieter this time, almost sad. We already did it, Adam. We made the choice. The call ended before I could ask what choice. The final sign wasn't a call. It was a newspaper clipping in my mailbox. No stamp, no return address. Folded once, neatly. Headline: Man found dead in apartment, no signs of forced entry. Photo: my building. The man's name wasn't mentioned, but the photo showed a familiar layout, my living room. The caption read, Authorities believe the victim may have predicted his death. Cryptic notes found near the scene suggest mental decline or something more mysterious. The date? Tomorrow. I didn't call the police. I didn't run. I didn't tell anyone. Something inside me, something, quiet but firm, said this had to happen. And deep down, I was starting to believe it already had. That night, I sat in front of the closet with the box between my knees. No phone, no distractions, just me and it. The box didn't hum anymore. It felt expectant. I opened it. Inside was a single item, a tape recorder, old, metallic, the kind you'd find in a police interview room from the 80s. Heavy, real. Taped to it was a sticky note. Play when you remember. I hesitated only a moment. Then I pressed play. There was a click, then silence. Then my voice. If you're hearing this, it means the loop has begun again. And you've remembered just enough. Another pause. You're going to die tonight, Adam. Just like last time. Just like next time. I dropped the recorder, but it didn't stop. You keep thinking you're the first version of yourself to go through this. But you're not. You're the 7th, maybe the 8th. I lost count after 5. There was something in the tone. Not fear, not madness, just exhaustion. We tried to stop it, we really did. But every time we changed the outcome, the loop corrected itself. We tried destroying the box. We tried leaving town. We even tried ending it early. A click. Then another voice joined in. Same as the first, but slower, deeper, tired. You have to remember the choice, Adam. I was shaking. The recording continued. You agreed to trade something, not for money, not for power. You asked to know, to understand things before they happen, to see what others couldn't, and now you do. But it came with a price. You can see ahead, but only as far as your own death. I reached out and stopped the recorder. Silence filled the apartment like fog. And then, a knock at the door. 3 soft taps. Measured, familiar. Didn't move. I just sat there, the recorder buzzing faintly beside me, the weight of infinite choices collapsing into this one moment. The door opened, and there I stood, older, just like the man from the cafe. He looked at me with sympathy. Or maybe pity. Maybe both. He stepped inside and shut the door gently behind him. I'm sorry, he said. I couldn't speak. He sat across from me, reached into his coat, and pulled out a small object. My phone, not the one I'd been using, but an exact replica. Identical. Except the screen showed every call I'd received from me, except the next one was labeled Final. You wanted to remember, he said. You wanted to understand, and now you do. I whispered, "Why me?" He smiled softly. "Because you asked. And the version of you that asked is long gone." The phone buzzed, incoming call, myself. My fingers hovered over the screen. I knew that answering would seal the loop. I knew it would complete whatever bargain I had made in another time, another version of myself. But I also knew not answering would change nothing. So I answered. My voice, one last time, whispered through the line, "We'll do better next time." Click. The call ended, and everything went still. I woke up on the couch. Morning sunlight filtered through the curtains like spilled gold, soft and warm. Birds chirped outside. The city hummed in its usual rhythm. The recorder was gone. The box, too. No sign of the man, the version of me, who had stepped through my door. My phone rested silently on the table. No missed calls, no new messages. And yet, I remembered everything. The calls, the voice, the choice, the loop. I wandered through the apartment in a daze, half expecting something to be missing or added, but everything was in its place, except I noticed a new photo on the shelf, a picture I'd never taken. It was me, standing in the cafe from before, looking out the window. Not scared, not confused, just watching. The timestamp, dated 2 weeks from today. I touched the frame, but the photo didn't change. It was real, solid, as if it had always been there. I didn't know what it meant. Maybe this was a new loop, or maybe I'd broken free, and the world was still adjusting. Either way, I wasn't afraid anymore. Not of the box, not of the voice, not of myself. I made coffee and opened the window. Let the breeze in. Let the moment be still. And somewhere, far off, too quiet to be certain, I thought I heard a faint echo of my own voice whispering, "We'll do better next time." And as the sun rose higher and the city stirred to life, I sat alone with my coffee, watching the world move on, knowing that somewhere in time, a version of me was still waiting for the phone to ring, still hoping he wouldn't pick up, still believing this time he could change it. But the truth? Some calls were always meant to be answered, even if they come from yourself.